Hey everybody, it's your buddy's pal Anthony, and with me again is the boss, Mr. Hey Archer himself. How you doing today?
It's early morning for recording, but it's a very
It is.
necessary recording.
It is. Both of those are very true statements, especially for this guy. Um, so today we are talking a little show called Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's currently 3 episodes in, and personally, I've been bouncing up and down in my seat when I watched all three. Uh, have you as well, fair to say?
Fair to say, yes.
So we're going to get into it today. Heavy spoilers after the intro. Steve, hit it, please. Okay, so it's finally here. Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ewan McGregor, Hayden Christensen, uh, Jimmy Schmitz. I was going to say, Bail Organa. I'm blanking on his name. They got Jimmy Smits back. Bail Organa. I can't say
Yeah.
it.
Oh wait,
They
can I
got him
just
back.
make one quick comment?
Yeah,
That is it. Does it bother you that it's called Obi-Wan Kenobi? Because I felt like Kenobi was just a better title for a show.
I I've because of Darth Maul and animation over the years,
Hmm.
I'm like Kenobi.
Yes.
I hear that.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay, sure. There's my one real pet peeve for the show. It should have just been Kenobi,
Yeah.
and you hit it. And I didn't even realize I had that pet peeve until you
Yeah.
said it. But yeah, okay, yeah, it should have been Kenobi. But after that, it's gold. It's gold on the
Hmm.
small screen. Uh, Naturally, this is a ramble. We're gonna jump around. I love that he has super PTSD. Uh, I love that when he finally does pick up a lightsaber, he's almost looking as if he's looking like he killed younglings with it, like he accidentally killed him accidentally, but
Yep.
still he's looking at it like, oh, not this again.
Yep.
Really not this again. Uh, he's abandoned by his friends because like he's calling out to Qui-Gon the same way Rey calls out to all the other Jedi, only this time he knows it should work because he was getting training. And he's completely alone
Yep.
and I love all the little tidbits that he's throwing in this performance, in this iteration of his performance.
Yeah.
So those are just some of the things. I mean, we'll get to the big one in episode three a little bit later, I guess. But
Hmm.
what are you loving or hating, or how are
Yeah.
you feeling so far?
I mean, I agree with everything you said there. What I what I love about it is actually, well, there's two things I love, and I will kind of address one based on comments I've been reading and listening to and all that stuff. I think they're nailing the PTSD thing to your point.
Yeah.
I don't want to just repeat everything you said, but what I love is that it feels like they looked at Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi and said, okay, let's try it again. And it's actually working this time because in this
Hmm.
sense, it actually makes sense because we saw him do all of the prequel stuff. We saw
Right.
him raise this kid because he was a child when he took him under his wing. We saw him
Yeah.
raise this kid, go through countless battles, um, take on countless Sith and dark side users, to then fail him as a teacher and then see a direct result of his failure in younglings dying, to your point, into the empire becoming a thing, and
Hmm.
his new family, because that's what he calls them in episode 3, but his new family get wiped out, annihilated because of one failure. And him quitting and giving up on everything, to me, is absolutely perfect sense. Now, the complaint side makes no sense to me. Like I've been watching more reviews, and we'll talk about all that, angry fandom stuff, I'm sure, later on. But one of the reviews I was watching, they were like, "That's not Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan would never just give up. Like Obi-Wan in New Hope is a believer in the Force, and he's the light in the darkness. He's all these things." And I'm like, "Yeah, but he has to get to that point.
Exactly.
He has to rediscover that, because I don't know if you noticed, but there were 3 movies and an entire series that just came out before this one, in your face explaining to you why he's not so vibrant and energetic and I believe in the Force and all this stuff. Like, it's confusing to me. Like, what's the complaint here? That it makes like zero sense to me.
Yeah, no, I don't get like I've heard a little bit of that. I've actually haven't really had too much time to get into comments and stuff, but I've heard a little bit of that. I've heard the other big one that we'll get to, which I totally don't get. Uh, but yeah, no, exactly. And like, I mean, same thing. I don't want to repeat everything you just said, but no, exactly. He just went through war. Like he
Yes.
lost a parent, and then he got more or less. He lost a parent.
Mm-hmm.
He had to take over he had to take over the family by raising his little brother.
Yep.
And next thing you know, just when things are kind of like, okay, Anakin's not doing so bad. We can work with this. Shit's going right. Boom,
Mm-hmm.
Clone Wars,
Yep. Yeah.
and then that was it.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I don't get like I don't get complaints on that. It's like it's called like we talk about this. It's called story progression. It's called
Yeah.
evolution of a character.
Yeah.
Like yeah, you jump in on A New Hope. That's final form. Then
Yes.
well, actually, excuse me. He's back to being Obi-Wan at that.
At that point.
Like as Sal said, and as I've said, this is Ben. This is totally
Yes.
broken down man.
Yeah.
So I mean, granted, we don't have much to go, but we have 3 episodes left. We have to see what they do with it. And there's a lot of history in, in 10 years. Even if they don't get there in the end of this, if they give us another season, get in like it's more steps along the way, I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I've heard a complaint that people are like, what the fuck? Why is it Leia? Obi-Wan wouldn't get off Tatooine. It doesn't matter. And I'm like, personally, like, it would only be Leia.
Yeah.
That's the only person he's leaving Tatooine for.
Right. If
Like,
it wasn't
who
Luke
else?
that got abducted.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. If it's
Yeah.
not Luke, it's got to be Leia. Because
Yeah.
who the hell else left in the galaxy does he care about? Like,
Yeah.
Yoda's not. I mean, maybe Yoda. That's
Maybe.
it.
Yeah. And even
Sorry,
that's a
like
doubt.
yeah, because Yoda, he knows. I mean, you think he knows where Yoda went? Quick sidebar.
Uh, Somebody in the comments can definitely let us know, but I'm pretty sure he said, I'm going into exile on Dagobah. But I
Okay.
mean, he definitely said I'm going to exile, but I don't remember if he specifically said Dagobah. But I don't doubt
Yeah.
Obi-Wan would know how to find him.
Okay. So yeah. So those are the 3 people.
Yeah.
Yoda's doing his thing. He's fine. He knows Luke is okay. It
Yeah.
can only be Leia.
Yeah.
Satine is dead.
Yeah.
For if you haven't watched the Clone Wars, go do yourselves a favor.
Yep.
Satine is dead. Qui-Gon's long dead. He probably thinks Ahsoka is dead.
Yeah.
So it had to be Leia. There was
Yeah.
no other choice to make.
Yeah.
Uh, and by the way, in that episode, when we meet her captor, I was like, I think I texted it to the group. I'm like, is that fucking Flea? And then I'm pausing it and I'm looking at it and I'm like, holy shit, Flea's in Star Wars. Okay,
Yeah.
continue.
Yeah.
Um, but a couple quick like technical things, real quick. I I feel like it's silly to say, but you do have to say it because we've seen some stuff where it's like, ooh, the show looks great.
Mm-hmm.
It's filmed like whatever they're doing on that volume and everything else. Holy crap, the technology is amazing. I
Mm-hmm.
love that. I've heard behind the scenes stuff where McGregor's like, I actually am acting with people.
Yeah.
I'm paraphrasing. He talks about how the prequels were a whole lot of green screen and
Mm-hmm.
pretending. And
Mm-hmm.
he's like, I've never worked with a clone trooper. How
Right.
great was it to see clone trooper armor in the flesh?
Also, that
Uh,
was his first time wearing clone trooper armor.
you're shitting me. He didn't even wear,
Nope.
really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because
Did he wear the Boba
well, I
Fett
was thinking
armor?
about it in the when you got to Attack of the Clones, he was in regular clothes when they're like in the cafeteria walking around and stuff, and then they're just in the suits, and then he's Boba Fett, he's Jango Fett. So that was actually his first time. He said donning clone trooper armor on screen.
Oh wow, so that's cool. That's
Mm-hmm.
another first. That
Yeah.
looked damn good, and I was surprised that they threw that in. And
Yep.
I mean, I would have to watch it again to make sure I'm not just embellishing it. But I feel like, again, McGregor like pauses. He's like, "Oh shit,
Yeah. He does.
does he recognize me?
Yeah.
Is he? Am I gonna have another Order 66 moment?"
Oh yeah. Oh, I mean,
Like,
it's a triggering moment. Absolute
yeah.
triggering moment.
So, like, again, holy shit.
Yeah.
Um, I'm trying to like Uncle Owen, roast master in first episode.
Yeah.
Uh, and you've seen the meme where it's like ironic because he could not prevent himself from roasting. Uh,
Yes.
um, thank God they got off Tatooine.
And not to another sand planet.
Oh my God, I'm so happy I don't have to stare at it. I'm Anakin at this point. I hate
Hate
sand. I
sand.
fucking hate sand.
Yeah.
Um, I did feel like, oh come on, why does he have to? Why does the Jedi have to come to Tatooine? I get it. It's an out of the way system and all that
Mhm.
shit, but it's like, come on. You just so happen to be on the one planet where the second most wanted Jedi and the future of the Force are living at that time by accident. And
Oh, you mean the other one that the Inquisitors went
yeah, yeah,
after?
the Inquisitors, yeah. Oh, and I
Yeah.
completely forgot that opening scene taking place like in during
Order 66.
holy shit to
Yeah.
see Order 66 from somebody else's point of view in live action.
Yeah.
I was like, oh wow, this is going to be a good series, and it hyped me up for the potential, which I feel is fleeting a little bit since we're now 3 episodes in.
Mhm.
I would maybe a season 2 thing. Oh, if we get a flashback where Anakin and Obi-Wan are fighting a battle in their Clone Wars armor,
I feel like it's coming.
like
I feel like it's
I,
coming.
it would I would like it to come, but we do only have 3 episodes left. We got a lot of ground to cover, and we'll get to what we think we have to cover. But yeah,
You
just
know why? You know why I think they're going to do it? Because right now we've had very little Hayden. You know, I'm I'm not 100% sure because I was watching a bunch of videos and it seems like nobody 100% knows the answer. But I think that's him in the Vader outfit.
mhm.
Um, so we haven't had like too much of him yet. And what I'm getting vibes of in the show, especially with the last episode, is I'm getting Clone Wars final season vibes / I'm getting Rebels end of the show vibes, where there's some episodes in the beginning that there's not a lot visually to the episodes, like where they are. There's not like for example, when they pull up to the checkpoint, when they do like the aerial view, there isn't much there, right? Like there's like 2 hills, the lasers,
Yeah,
the one ship, or transport, and nothing else. It's very barren. And I'm like, oh, that's your cost savings. You have the setting there because you're gonna put more of your effort, your money, resources into more at the end. Like you're gonna get maybe the Clone Wars flashbacks. You're gonna get they know they have to. I think this is the only way I hate this show. Like at the end, if they get to the end and we don't get a better battle than Revenge of the Sith, I would be mad. Unless they find a way to justify it and like they're older now or whatever. But I feel like the money's is going to be used at the end, tail end of the series.
I mean, I'd like to believe that. I did laugh real quick
Mm.
seeing that. Like it reminded me of like that single guard gate. Reminded me of like did you ever see Robin Hood Men in Tights?
Yes.
You got what was it? It was like Little John
Little John on
protecting the
the
bridge
yeah.
on the bridge. Meanwhile, it's a stream that they could have
Yes.
just hopped over.
Exactly.
Um, uh, Listen, if that's the case, that'd be fine. I was just thinking that like they're gonna keep going full steam ahead with this, and I don't know. I figured if they were gonna do a flashback, they would have done it. But I hope you're right and I'm wrong.
Because I
Although I
mean,
don't. I mean,
look how good the flashback was in the opening scene. The Order
yeah,
66 scene was very well shot, and the first 2 episodes had a decent amount of money put into them. And this one's a very bare bones visually episode. It's even a desert planet, unfortunately.
There's some green, but I
There's
got
some
your
green,
point.
yeah.
Um, what do you call it? The oh, hang on, my brain. I'm gonna take another quick sip of coffee. So we've kind of jumped there. Do you want to go? You mentioned it. Do you want to go into that episode, or is there stuff in episode 1 and 2 we should hit on a little bit more first?
I feel like episode 3, there's enough there to discuss. Also, actually, I will address one thing. You were mentioning about a season 2.
Mhm.
I think I'm okay with them not doing a season 2. What I can see them doing is a Leia spin-off show. I could totally see them doing that because she's a little girl. They're like, oh, we can get 10 years out of material out of this girl here.
I mean, I would hope it would make sense. You know what I mean? Like, don't just do it to do it. Don't just do it because you're cashing in on Princess Leia.
Oh no,
It had.
I'm completely coming from that angle because I don't think
Oh
you
no,
need to
no,
do
I
it.
know you are.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah,
voicing it. No, no,
yeah.
no.
Okay.
That's the thing. It's like, I mean, okay. So since you mentioned that, spoilers for Rebels. Leia's in Rebels.
Yeah.
I think only one episode, but still.
Hmm.
And she's like, it's her in her like teenage years,
Hmm.
and she, I want to say for some damn reason, I feel like she was delivering fuel to the planet they're always on, and the name escapes me at the moment. Ezra's home planet,
Yeah.
and she has the episode where she like meets up with Ezra and the rebels, and she helps out a little bit. So maybe if it's like a couple episodes like that, but it has to be when you have to do a time jump. It's not going to work if it's this actress, and it's nothing against her. She's great right now, but I mean, unless in the interim, she has a growth spurt and I can see it, but otherwise
Yeah.
they're going to have to recast her again. But yeah, if it's like her in her teenage years and it's her doing like more or less shadow ops leading into A New Hope, okay. Otherwise, it's a huge universe. You
Yeah.
can do stuff in this timeline. I don't think that'd be necessary personally.
Yeah.
Cool to see if they do it right, but it's just like with this. There's so much potential to go wrong. So unless you're getting like Deborah Chow, sorry if I butchered her last name. Is it Cho or Chow?
I think it's Chow.
Okay. Unless you're gonna get her, just pat yourselves on the back after this season and
Call it a day.
leave the toys alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, put them back in the box
Yeah.
or on the shelf.
Yeah.
I thought you might like that one.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so
Episode 3.
episode 3.
Oh, sorry.
Dun dun
Part
dun.
part 3.
Part 3. Yeah, episode 3 should be reserved. Sorry. Um, okay, yeah. Leia, I like that Leia has. I'm going to kind of try to go linearly.
Yeah.
I like that Obi-Wan pretty much wants to like, he's like throwing his hand. He's having a panic attack
Yeah.
because of, oh, actually, wait a minute. Time out. Pause. Insert a cool graphic. Everybody, can we talk about the hate for this actress, for Third Sister? Or do you not want to yet?
I think we should because if we're gonna go linear, she doesn't have much in this episode, so I think it
Yeah.
makes sense to cover that.
Okay. I don't get it. You're okay with a green lizard alien, and I definitely don't know what's going on except for that Star Wars fans are hating on her the same way they hated, to my understanding, Kelly Marie Tran, I want
Hmm.
to say is her name.
Yep.
And it's like first first of all, neither one of them deserved hate. Like I didn't hate her personally in Last Jedi. I
Right.
hated her character and what she was given to do because that whole thing made no point, made no sense to me.
Yep.
And even hates, I mean, okay, now hate's a strong word. Now it's like, all right, whatever. It was a bad Star Wars movie. At the time, I was like, what are you doing?
Anthony, hate leads to suffering.
It does. It does. And I definitely don't need another respirator in the form of a nebulizer inhaler when I was a child. But still, I did pretend I was Darth Vader when I was puffing on the nebulizer in the morning.
That's awesome.
Um, yeah, I don't get it. Is it just because she's black and in Star Wars? It's because she's black and in a position of power in Star Wars. We're okay with all these aliens and shit running around. We're okay with fucking Bigfoot being the co-pilot of the Millennium Falcon. Is that really where we're still at? That it's just because it's a black woman in charge? I don't get it.
So
Or did I miss the hate entirely?
no,
Is it
no, no,
something
no.
she said or did that people are reacting to? I don't know.
And that's where there was one. The only time I was like, okay, hating on an actress kind of makes sense was Brie Larson. Like Brie Larson came out and was making her comments like, Captain Marvel's not for white men. Like, don't review my movie. I don't even want to hear your opinion on it. Blah blah blah. And I was like,
Yeah,
all right,
that's like
if you want to throw shade at her, again, respectfully, whatever. But like you said, with Kelly and with Moses, it's like you're a grown adult, because the comments she showed in her Instagram post, it's not like it was like a 12-year-old, like, when you're playing Fortnite and they're saying nasty things to you. Like, these are
mhm.
grown ass adults who are like telling her you were a minority hire, all these other things. And the wild part, and I'll try to remember to circle back to kind of the question, but the wild part is people are making videos like bashing Star Wars for calling fans racist. First, it's like did you not watch her video where she explained what she was getting in her DMs? Two, if you feel the need to defend it, even though Star Wars didn't say your name personally, obviously you're getting triggered by something. Or you're purely just riding the wave. And I think that's what most people are doing. I don't think people genuinely hate her. I think people understand what gets views on YouTube, what gets views on Twitter, and calling things woke. They're pushing an agenda, like all that stuff. People still get very triggered by it on either side, and I think that's what people do now. Like there were, I give this disclaimer every single time because I feel like it's necessary. I embraced the fandom menace when Last Jedi came out. I left Last Jedi. I was visibly pissed off at the movie. I was pissed off at Disney. I went home. I consumed all the media of people bashing it, and I consumed and I loved it. I embraced the hate when it came to Disney and Star Wars, and Disney and Star Wars have messed up numerous times. But I think seeing the wins in like Mandalorian, right? Seeing some of the wins of Book of Boba Fett, seeing some of the wins in Clone Wars, I'm like, oh, there's still good stuff here. Like, there's still good material here. They just they understand that they're still trying to get kids. So as long as you can understand they're trying to get kids, and there'll be little pieces that are for the OG fans, you can get through it. But there are people who just can't. They make videos and stuff, and they just cannot like any part of it. So when she comes on the screen, they're like, oh, this is a great opportunity for me to, again, push woke agenda, say that they're trying to do this, make the old white guy seem weak. Like, they're trying to say all these things. And I'm like, it's utterly pointless. It's stupid. Now, if let's hypothetically say there's somebody who generally hates the character, right? And they're watching the show and they're like, oh, she sucks. That's actually the point of the character. Like, you're supposed to hate her. The Inquisitors visibly hate her on the show.
Yeah.
So in reality, she's actually doing a great job. It's like
and
she's a wrestling heel. Like, she's gotten you to
yeah,
actually dislike her.
Sal is smiling as soon as he heard that reference.
Oh yeah.
Uh, So, okay, yes, all very good points and valid. And I'm going to give you the reverse. I didn't, and like, I'm not pro. So, first of all, you're not alone. I totally walked out hating Last Jedi.
Yeah.
And one of the first videos I did with you is I was just like, you were like, no, 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 I'm done with hate on Star Wars. And I was like,
Yeah.
ooh, I have a lot of hate left. And you were like, go for it. And so there's that.
Yeah.
But personally, at the end of episode one, excuse me, part one, part one. Sorry. When Obi-Wan is behind the containers and everything else. And by the way, we never talked about how she supposedly killed the Grand Inquisitor.
Mhm.
Um, and she reveals that Vader's alive.
Alive.
She says the name Darth Vader and Anakin Skywalker.
Mhm.
Am I the only guy who was like, who the hell is she that she knows this information? And that I was like, I need to know more about her.
Yes.
Because I'm not just saying this to be counter to all the hate. I was literally like, he doesn't tell, to my understanding, Vader, never addresses that he's Anakin.
No.
As far as he's concerned, Anakin is dead. He's Darth Vader. Obviously Palpatine knows, and in the comics, Tarkin like kind of pieced it together, and the
Yep.
same thing for Thrawn. And I
Yeah.
think Tarkin had a better idea than Thrawn, but that
Yes.
was it. So,
Tarkin just looked at him
how,
and knew who it was.
yeah. So it's like, how does she know? Why does she know? Who the hell is she? Because they hint at it. They say that she came to the Inquisitors. So
Yes.
clearly she's a fallen Jedi or Padawan, and she was so fucked up that she was like, "All right, I got to join up or I got to die."
Yeah.
So I mean, I mean, yeah, like hating on it because she's black or white or Asian or whatever. I don't get that. Hating on her if she did a genuinely bad job to an extent, I would understand. But she's not doing a bad job. She's doing her fucking job.
Yeah.
You don't like her because, spoilers for the end of episode 3, she kidnaps Leia again. She has Leia. You don't like her because she's trying to kill our man Obi-Wan and all this other shit. Like you said, she's a wrestling heel doing her job.
Yeah.
If the Last Jedi, I hate what they did to Luke. It has redeeming qualities. It's shot beautifully. I was a photography student. I appreciate shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
When that came out versus Justice League, I remember a comparison I said was for the theatrical cut of Justice League. I didn't even believe that Superman and Lois were standing in a cornfield in Kansas in front of a farmhouse. For Last Jedi, I 110% believed I was on every ship, every alien planet, every hut. So, like, there are good things. I just hate what they did to Luke.
Right.
We won't get into that. There's videos on that. Anything else you'd like to address for this?
So people are quick to get mad at her knowing the Anakin part, and exactly to your point, I'm just like, well, again, that's exactly what they want you to that's how they want you to feel. They want you to be like, wait, why? Like, you were questioning it. Like, people are like mad, like she just knows without being curious and wanting to see how she knows. They're just like, oh, like, this bullshit. She should have known. And I'm like, you're just reaching. But when you get to her killing the Inquisitor, I think it's pretty obvious he's not dead. I think it's pretty obvious that, what I think is going to happen is there's some things I kind of saw online that I will not say because I still think there's a good side. It's still good to have some mystique to everything. But what I do think is going to happen, because I feel like they just set it up, is she, sorry, I just read Aaron's text. I read. So just so you guys know, Aaron Waller, the king of YouTube, was saying that he read rumors that season 2 of Obi-Wan's already in the works. What was I just? Shoot, I forgot what I was just saying.
You were talking about like her
Inquisitor.
and how she would know, and yeah.
So essentially, we know the Grand Inquisitor is in Rebels. So people are like, oh well, they're not going to break their own canon, and I agree. So I think they pretty much clearly set it up. She's going to somehow get one over on somebody. I don't know who, but she'll get one over on somebody, Obi-Wan or Vader or whatever, and Grand Inquisitor is going to show back up and ruin her day.
Mm-hmm.
And potentially get her murked. Like, that's what's going to happen. I don't know how. I don't know the story thread of what they're gonna do, but I feel like they pretty much were like, this is what's gonna happen. This will come back to haunt her. Um, when people get mad at that, like, oh, they killed him off, blah, I'm just like, shut up, just chill, man. Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing? What are you doing?
Like like I can understand like being if you have no knowledge of the canon and if you never watched the cartoons, even I'd be like, what the fuck? They brought this guy in and he gets what's the word? Nubed like that? Like or
Merked?
like
What?
well murked, but like what like they make him like they kill him like he's like a
Oh,
newbie, like
like nuked his character.
new yeah, whatever. Anyway, I'm not hip. I should just stop trying. Um I would be like, oh, what the hell? That was a whole lot of oh, he's the Grand Inquisitor and very little payoff.
Right.
But I know better, so
Yeah.
there's that.
Yeah. I think for sake of time, because as the
Yeah,
show is so properly titled Rambling, I think we should skip to the fight. I think that would be because I think there's a lot to even unpack there in the
yeah.
final 20-ish minutes we have. Um, I just want to open up with one thing.
Mhm.
I was upset, not not like flaming upset, but I was kind of just like, damn it, when he lit the lightsaber, because I really wanted final episode. He looks at it and goes, I gotta do it. Turns it on. But
Okay.
at the same time, I understand for canon's sake, we need to be able to reach the part where Vader looks at Kenobi on the Death Star, hesitates second after second, and he's like, "Hey, once I was the learner, now I'm the master." Like Vader blatantly lost the last time they met. So I think you need Obi-Wan to lose this lightsaber battle so he could win the next one, so he could sacrifice himself in the final one.
Yes. Yeah. Um, I'm glad you said that because I same thing. Like I think Aaron during the and I'm sorry if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was Aaron during his
Live
episodes
stream.
1 and 2 live streams where he was like, light it," and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Same thing. Like going back to my you know, if somebody killed somebody with a gun by accident, he's looking at as far as he's concerned, there's blood all over his lightsaber of the Jedi Order.
Yeah.
He doesn't want that thing on his hip. He doesn't want that thing in his hands.
Yep.
I like that he kept going to the blaster
Yes.
in episodes parts 1, 2, and 3. Um, edit all that out.
I
and
will not.
yeah, and the fact that he is so bad with the lightsaber, it's because
Hmm.
he hates it. He hasn't been practicing. It wasn't 10 years in the desert where he was honing his skills. It's not spoilers again for Rebels. It's not Obi-Wan who versus Darth Maul in the desert and is a fucking master. And now I love that scene. At first I hated it because I was like, oh my God, he's
Same.
so short.
Same.
I was like, do something. No, come on.
Yeah.
It makes so much more sense now that he's just like, couple like whatever, 4 or 5 moves, and I got you.
Yeah.
And we got to get to that point too.
Correct.
Um, no, I think I wish they waited. I understand why they didn't. I think that fight was beautiful for different reasons, obviously, than Revenge of the Sith. But I think that was a beautiful fight. Him being terrified, Vader just being basically a horror figure. He can't
Yeah.
run. He's not trying to run.
Yeah.
He's Mike Myers. He's Freddy Krueger. He just appears out of the corner.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm in a dead. He should be in. I'm in a dead fucking sprint. How are you here?
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And for the sake of catching Anakin, Obi-Wan, I think it would have been not needed, but like if you see him like kind of force pushing himself, Vader, like
Mm.
to leap, but that would have been looking ridiculous. But that's the only way. If you need an excuse for how he covered the ground, he force pushed himself in the air. He
Yeah.
force jumped,
Yeah.
and there you go.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, no, see, like I like that. It's just at one point the blades lighting them up. You see Obi-Wan's reflection in the helmet, totally
Hmm.
terrified.
Hmm.
I love the banter between, well, not banter, but I love the conversation as they're fighting.
Hmm.
By the way, I really love in the beginning of the episode, Obi-Wan looking out and you see Anakin in the robes staring at
Yes.
him. I was
Yes.
like, oh my God.
Yes.
Um, and yeah, I mean, that, like you said, that's how that first interaction is going to go because he
Yeah.
just found out he's alive. He just found out all this shit. He
Mm-hmm.
sees him in the armor for the first time. So he's like, oh my God, what did I do to this guy?
Yeah.
He's, again, that's his brother, that's his son. He knows he maimed him. He thinks he killed him.
Yeah.
Now he's like, oh my God, I've left him suffering for years. He's not a stupid guy. He sees the suit. He's like, Jesus, he's keeping him alive. What did I do? Blah, blah,
Mm-hmm.
blah.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I,
yeah.
I
What
I
do you got?
do I do kind of wish, but I understand why they didn't, that Obi-Wan would have like almost tried to apologize or something. Unless he did and I missed it. I've only watched the episode once, but I wish there was kind of like an apology type thing. Um, but what I am hoping happens is in their next fight, because again, it's not the final one. The next fight, first, I hope that is the last one in the Kenobi series if they continue the series, because I want New Hope to be the final one. So two more.
Mhm.
That's just me as the fanboy. But I want in the next one for Kenobi to fight Anakin, and I think I'll continue calling him Anakin too. I don't think I'm going to call him Vader because at this point he's seeing his brother again to me.
Okay.
So he'll fight Anakin and be on the verge of killing him, and then just say like, no, like I will never be the one to kill you. That's why I didn't kill you then. That's why I won't kill you now. He's like, and that I think that alone would anger Vader to justify Vader's savage nature, like as he continues as a character. But I kind of want, because I mean, otherwise, I don't even know how they would end that next fight, right? Like, I mean, Vader has to lose, or Anakin has to lose, I should say. But I do, I want it to be a Dark Knight moment where Bruce tells Superman, "I just wanted you to know that I
Yeah.
beat you."
Hmm. Yeah.
I need that to
Remember
happen in
this.
the next fight.
Yeah, that's how the next fight needs to go to make, like you said, to make A New Hope make sense, to make him hesitant at like crossing him.
Yeah,
Uh, it has to be in the end of episode 6 because obviously Vader. That's not where we're at now. If it's a rematch in 2 seconds and all of a sudden Obi-Wan turns it back on, I'll be pissed at that because it'll
do
be
you
like,
think
come
they
on,
time
dude.
jump?
I would hope honestly that for the last episode they do time jump because now Obi-Wan needs time to heal. He needs time to get his head somewhat right. He needs time to practice.
Yeah,
Like, I understand he was a Jedi Master for all those years, but 10 years you haven't touched the thing, it showed.
yeah,
So if you could turn it on with the flick of a switch, I'm sorry, saving my own life is a pretty good reason to say, not even my own life, saving my life so that I can get Leia
yeah,
back to Alderaan is a good reason to snap myself out of this, you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
Um,
Do you think he goes to
I like,
Dagobah at all?
no, I hope not. I really hope not.
Yeah, same.
I hope, I do hope Liam Neeson appears, and I hope we get like some Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan like uh, interaction. I don't know if I want to see him training him again in like lightsaber combat, but like talk conversation. I do hope we have that come going forward. Um, and I think,
Well, the one I was talking to the guys at GameStop yesterday, and one of the guys was like, Liam can't show up, and I kind of forgot about that. Where because Yoda was saying that Qui-Gon didn't finish the training, so therefore, if he shows up, it's only audible. It's not Force Ghost. What the
yeah,
part that's kind of confusing to me that I kind of ignore is like Obi-Wan has essentially turned off everything. He's still calling out to Qui-Gon. So I think if everything's turned off and now he's going to start to turn it back on. I think Qui-Gon just showing up it is a stretch because I feel like you have to practice potentially to get to that. Maybe because I think
So,
Skywalker had to, or Luke had to work on the Force in order to like hear Ben in Empire. I think. Um, I don't know.
so, so yeah, in at the end of, well, the original ending of Clone Wars, yes, Qui-Gon explains, I can't be physical because my training was incomplete,
Right.
and the only reason you saw him in the episode "The World Between Worlds," no, that's Rebels, uh, the episode where they go to like the Force planet,
Mm,
Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka.
yeah.
The only reason Qui-Gon was visible there is because the Force was so strong.
Yeah.
I'll have to find my source and send it to you. I'm pretty sure I saw something where it was like some, again, like one of those $50 books you have to buy for a two-sentence explanation. I think it says like Qui-Gon redoubled his training, and in order to help Obi-Wan in his exile, make him feel like he's not alone, he completed his training and he made himself a manifestation. This way, he can actually see and comfort his Padawan. I'll find that because I did remember reading that recently. So if
Mhm.
that's canon, I'm cool with that, and let's see Liam again.
Yeah.
We're gonna hear him again
Yeah.
in the new series apparently. But yeah, I want a time jump. And for the last fight, honestly, because like it is Hayden Christensen in the suit. I've heard him saying how he like had to work out like to carry the suit better and like training with like the new, because like if you look, obviously that fight is completely different than Revenge of the Sith.
Mhm.
He's he's not acrobatic, he's not fluid and graceful. He just bashes you over and over and over again,
Mhm.
and because that's his new style, because he can't, the suit limits him.
Mhm.
If if in the last episode, part, whatever, when they face off, you do a moment where like you're doing like a 360 spin, and it's Vader and Obi-Wan, and then it's Vader and Anakin and Obi-Wan face to face. If it's like, from Obi-Wan's perceptions, the armor's gone and it's Anakin there,
Mm.
and it's a fight like that, and but you got to keep it accurate, and you gotta, Hayden Christensen can't be flipping around. It has to be the same thing. It has to be him fighting as Vader. It has to be Vader's fighting style. I think that would be cool to see too,
That'd be
and get
dope.
you more legit Hayden Christensen on screen.
Yeah.
Uh,
You know, it's
yeah,
wild to me that like we're talking about Hayden in such a positive way and with such excitement, and so is the fandom. But when those movies came out, people hated them, like absolutely
yeah,
hated them, and hated him. I mean, he's a meme.
yeah.
I hate saying like absolutely hated him, but it's like now the script has flipped because I guess Disney messed up so much that we're just like, give us the old stuff, if even if it includes the prequels. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Um, yeah, and like, so I think because of being an influent, uh, of being younger and being able to be like easily influenced, like I walked out of Clone Wars, and we can talk to Sal about this to verify. I was happy. I was very excited. I didn't start hating on it until years later when like I kind of got, I don't want to say infected, but
Mm-hmm.
infected by
Mm-hmm.
like the haterdom. And like those movies, those prequels are far from perfect.
Right.
And that's more at the feet of George Lucas because he's a far from perfect director.
Yeah.
And like I feel like there's scenes, like I've seen cut pages where, if they're legit, where it's like he cut dialogue that was amazing
Mm.
in to show like a droid shot or something,
Yeah.
So it's like, so like I enjoyed it when I first saw it. I didn't full on hate him, but like, I hated on the movies because like people around me were hating, and I guess I was easily, influenced at the time. But now it's like, no, they're not perfect. It's like other parts of Star Wars. It's not perfect. It's also not terrible. I never understood people hating uh how elegant the lightsaber combat was. I was like, it's the Jedi Order. It's not supposed to be like Luke barely holding his own, hacking away at shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to be like, yeah, of course, it's an, it's an art for them.
Yeah.
It's an art form.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't it be cool? I don't
Mm-hmm.
know.
Yeah.
But no, I am glad he's getting his due now. I would hope if they have it in their power, I mean, they do it for everything else. Do extended cuts of at least Revenge of the Sith and put back, if it exists, put back some of the stuff that shows him like better dialogue that
Mm-hmm.
makes it a better movie. Do
Mm-hmm.
do like I've never watched them, but supposedly the guy who was Eric in that '70s show,
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of his name. Um,
Oh yeah.
he he supposedly for fun edited episodes one, two, and three into like a more like he cut out like the Senate shit, and it was just like a more action packed cut. It's still a long cut because it's three movies, but like you know, supposedly if you watch that, you're like, oh, okay, this is cool. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I'm glad he's getting his due now, and I'm excited because apparently I don't know what him we're gonna see, Anakin or Vader. Apparently he's gonna be in popping up in Ahsoka,
Yeah. That'd be great.
which I guess would have to be Anakin because he's dead and a Force ghost at that point, unless it's who knows. But yeah, no, I'm enjoying that he's getting to come back around and enjoy it this time.
I mean, if he's in Ahsoka, honestly, I want it to be flashback as well. I'm down for all the Hayden in Clone Wars armor um, stuff. Give me some child Ahsoka with him. That'd be amazing.
And actually, because Dave Filoni, all the memes where it's like he snuck in what would be season 8 of Clone Wars in the form of the Bad Batch.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, let him sneak that into Ahsoka or the next season of Obi-Wan is if there is one. Sneak that in where it's like, oh, you're not gonna. We're trying to we want to fill in some gaps between the original and the new trilogy. You're not gonna go back and do the Clone Wars shit again in live action, are you? And Dave's like, no, 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 not at all, not at all. And Obi-Wan Kenobi just it. The episode is just Ewan McGregor starting writing his journal to Luke, and he's like, so there was this one time in the Clone Wars where Ahsoka, your father, and I, and the entire season is just like a flashback to them doing like, yeah, that would
That'd
be
be
great.
wild. That'd be
And
wild.
same way they were like, oh, Sam Raimi directs Doctor Strange 2, but really the credits start playing and it's the Spider-Man credits, and you're like, oh, hey, it's Spider-Man 4. How'd that get in there?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I
uh,
guess last thing just for time. Um, what did you think of the way they ended? Like the fire's there, stormtroopers are there, Obi-Wan's on the other side of the fire, and then he just lets Obi-Wan get dragged off. Like, did you like that part? Did you hate that part?
that part confused me because I was like, again, I was like, that whole fight, I was like, yes. And
Mm-hmm.
like when they drag him through like him, like lighting whatever that shit is with his lightsaber, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh
That
my
was pretty
God,
badass.
that was awesome.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's the one part that didn't make sense because I was like, I was honestly expecting like, again, horror movie, I was expecting him to just like and Obi-Wan to be looking at Vader like as he's leaving and like Vader to just walk through the fire
Yes, that would have been
and like
so good.
keep coming. And I thought the episode would have ended with like Vader just like going after him again
Yeah.
as he's being like, it didn't make sense that he got away.
Yeah.
Uh, and I didn't see it. Is his lightsaber still there on the ground? Did he grab it?
I don't
We
know.
gotta see.
I don't know.
But
Honestly,
yeah,
it was
that didn't make sense. But I'm willing to. They've earned 3 episodes of credit with me, so
that's it.
I'm willing to see.
That was it. I was like, you know what? I was like, at the end of the day, I'm still watching Star Wars, which has lots of, oh, that doesn't make sense. Like, why? What? Like, that's just, that's the nature of the franchise. So I was like, you know what? Let's just say he wants to follow Obi-Wan to see where the rebels are. I don't know, something stupid like that. But like, I wish they would have put more money and like maybe ships came in and then he got taken out by a ship, or something major blew up, like they were actually at a facility, something blew up, you don't know where Obi-Wan went, something like that, something like that. But that's where, again, I was like, they were like, how could we save the most money on this show, in this episode? Something stupid and simple like that makes no sense. Dude's walked through fire with his suit. His suit's flame retardant. Like, he could have jumped over it. Like, so many things he could have done. I was like, they literally said, just come in under budget, please. Use that money later. And because of that, I was like, you know what? Whatever. It ended. I'm fine with that episode.
Yeah, no, same thing, by the way. I've only watched it once, and that's going to change today. But yeah, no, I'm okay with it. It makes it. I'm not happy with it, but I'm okay with it. We can move on. We can get past this.
Off camera / podcast. If you want to hear it, there's a interesting theory I heard about a character in the episode that I want to, if you want to entertain it, I want to run by you, but I don't want to say it on here in case somebody doesn't get a chance to hit pause and then it ruins a surprise later on or something.
Yeah, no, I'll hear it.
Yeah.
3 episodes left. If they end it with Obi-Wan showing Vader why he is still the knight and Obi-Wan is the master, and that's the last time we see Obi-Wan on film. You're okay with that, right? Because I'm okay with that. And then until episode 4.
Yes, but they need to battle. Like they need to battle it out. Yeah.
It needs to be an uncut. If the shows are 45 minutes, it needs to be 35 minutes of them going at it.
Yeah. Yeah. No jump cuts to like something happy happening on the side or some other battle, like Leia and Organa, Bail, I should say, are like fighting somebody with, like, I don't want cuts to that. Just give me why we're here. Just give that to me.
Same. All right. I think that's an episode, don't you?
I think so. I even as we discussed it there, we pointed out the negatives, and yet I don't see I can't see how anybody could like not like this show more than anything else we've had. Like, there's some reviewers I watched that they haven't said it, but I feel like they enjoyed Book of Boba Fett more than the show. Like, it's very confusing to me.
That makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can go on about that. So I'm just going to say that makes no sense to me, and and move it on.
Yeah.
So,
agreed.
Well, thank you all for listening and watching. Thank you for the early morning chat. It was good. Links down below. Follow him. Hey Archer on Instagram. Book of Archer. Nerd affiliated. Rambling Nerd. Thursday nights, you're going to catch him live. It's always a good time. There's merch. Point someplace you're going to put a merch link.
Oh, just
right there. That big old object's in the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're going to get Senor Sal in here soon because he has a lot of thoughts on this. So we're just going to let him catch up, probably with episode 4.
That's actually going to be like a rambling with Sal because he's just going to go off.
Yeah, like when I came in late on the Batman.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. So, thank you again, sir. Thank you, everybody, for listening and watching. Have a good one. Take care.